southcare.com.au.
Station sponsor.
Southcare is a not-for-profit providing personalised aged home care and community services that support you to live with dignity and respect in your own home and community. They'll sit down with you, your family and friends, and talk through the options and tailor a plan that respects your choices and needs. They have no hidden fees, and you can have services for as little or as long as you need. And just like you, they're local and proud to be part of the community for over 35 years.
100.1 FM.
And welcome back. And today's Ask Nicky Hour is brought to you by Southcare Incorporated. CEO Nicky Howe, good afternoon to you.
Hello, Jenny. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very confident that you do this sort of work because when I get to this point, I know who to go to. You'll look after us. It's good
definitely
to know.
will.
No, well, that's what I think we're all finding, that for aged care or stay in your home, whichever your option that you take, there's so many more, people out there that can help you now than ever before.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And really that's what people want. People want to stay in their own home, but often they're not aware of what the options are, so they think they've got limited choices, whereas nowadays there's a lot of choices.
Yeah.
So that people are in control and they can stay in their own home, in their own community.
It's a bit of a win-win, isn't it? Because the government are really quite keen for people to stay in their own home.
Yeah.
And with an ageing population, which we talk about ongoing, which is true, we're all going to live longer, we do have to come up with some sort of solution. I guess the thing about staying at home, and a lot of people decide to move out, is because of maintenance of the home, the upkeep. But this is where home care comes in.
Yes, that's right. So home care, there's a range of options, so you can start off with just the basic home and community care, but then as you get functional decline and you can do less, you can access a home care package, and that package entitles you not only to services but also to products, and those products might be things that are around getting your house fitted out with stairs or rails or ramps.
Oh, okay.
You might need a new bed, you might need a wheelchair, so the home care package really allows you to get those different products so that you can stay in your own home. So your home's fitted to cope with your restricted mobility.
Yeah. Sounds great. Now, last month with Ask Nicky, you listed some great services for seniors that were free or low cost. Did you get a bit of response to that?
Yes, look, we did, and we've got a lot of people. We've put the information on our website, our Southcare website, so if people did miss that, I would really encourage them to go on there and have a look at that blog, because there is a lot out there for people, and they really don't know what's available that's free. And we know that one of the biggest things that contribute to people's decline is if they're not socially connected.
We're learning more and more about that.
Exactly. So social isolation is a real key determinant of how long people will live. So the more people have more interaction, the longer they live, and of course the better they live. They have a better lifestyle.
So if you're in your own home, how are you going to have that interaction if people aren't popping by every day?
Well, that's right. So, that's why it was some of the things that we talked about was about getting the library. You can actually access a library service that will come to your own home.
Okay.
Or if you can't get out yourself, then certainly, organisations like us where we provide transport, you can come to our social centre. We've got the community visitors scheme that actually goes to people's homes. So we have volunteers who commit to developing a relationship with an older person, and they go to their home.
Yeah.
So there's lots of ways that people can get that social connection and reduce that isolation.
But also, in their own initiative, they could find ways of getting out and about through the week as well, if they're not completely incapacitated. Courtesy buses can pick them up, because we talk about that all the time with different groups that are out there.
That's right. There are a lot of groups.
That's very true. Now, let's talk about some main areas here of choices, right? We sort of touched on them lightly here, but living independently, you call it ageing in place, right?
Yes. Interesting term, isn't it?
It's a nice one.
It's a nice term. So people can live in their own home and they can age in their place, in their own place.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way of sort of considering it. So it means you and I can stay in our own home, as we age, and we just need to access those services and supports that keep us in our own home.
You see, a lot of people not everyone I've been speaking to, but referring to it in a conversation yesterday about somebody who's got a mum who's 86, 87 years of age, who is showing signs of early dementia.
Yes.
And she's adamant she doesn't want to go into care because she says, I'm not old.
Yes.
But the family are very concerned, and they just don't know how to break down the barriers, with her about that. That's a typical thing, isn't it?
That is a very typical thing, and I would say, look, it does all start with us having conversations. I think the issue with dementia is whether the person's safe. So, there's that whole issue around, are they by themselves, or do they have somebody with them? Which, if they've got a carer or a partner or a friend that they live with, then they can keep them safe.
Yeah.
If they become unsafe, then yes, the family does need to consider what the options are, and that doesn't necessarily instantly mean that it's residential aged care. It can be that they need to get someone in full time. So they might look at different options around that. They might decide that one of the family members is going to move in, or they might decide that the person themselves is actually going to move in with them. Now, I know that's not always ideal, but I think it's about having those different types of conversations before we immediately go, it's
time to go.
It's time to go.
Yeah. No, it is a tough one because you respect your parents' wishes, but you are, as a younger adult, obviously very concerned about their welfare.
Yeah, that's right.
If they fall or or just walk off,
Yeah, wandering.
Yeah.
And there's, there are a lot of things now, technology-wise, that can support people.
Yes, there's tracking devices.
There's tracking devices. There's
do they know that you're tracking them?
There's monitoring systems. There's a lot of emerging technologies to actually, again, support people to be able to stay in their own home.
No, well, that is a wonderful thing, actually. But see, the family at the moment don't know where to go, but people like yourselves could help them make those decisions, and how to deal with the mum that doesn't want to have her life changed.
Yes,
that's
right.
the hard part.
That's the hard part.
They get a bit adamant about it.
Yeah, so how do you talk to them about what, obviously what their concerns are, what your concerns are, and really what the options are. And I think that's the thing. People need to invest in finding out what the options are.
Yeah, does the website give information?
Our website gives a lot of information, and we will always take a call, or they can email me at asknicky.com. And so all the information's on our website. If they just go on our website and ask Nicky, send me an email.
Okay.
And then we can certainly talk to them about what the options are.
Do you have face-to-face conversations with people?
Yes, we run a seminar once a month on on a Tuesday. So next Tuesday we will be running a seminar from 10 till 11.
Yeah.
Or from 6 till 7. So we run that every month.
Yeah.
And we have people come and they can just talk to us about all their concerns and issues, and we can help them.
What's the most common question that's asked of you?
I think one of the most common questions is people don't know what the options are around the services and products that they can get in their own home, so they think that they've got to move out. So we talk to them about what's available. I think the other concern is the cost. So people they're not aware of actually how much funding they could get from the government. So
means tested, I guess.
Yeah, it's means tested, but the government's quite generous around the allocations for home care packages.
It's cheaper than putting them into aged care.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we go through all of that. We also touch on what are the sorts of things they need to look for in a provider. So if they were thinking, well, is Southcare a good provider? We say to them, these are the sorts of things you should look at. Are they approved? Are they an approved aged care provider? What are customers, or what do people say about them? When did they last have a quality accreditation?
Yeah,
have they won any awards? What sort of checks do they have with their staff? So we talk to them about the sorts of questions that they should ask service providers so that they make the right choice.
It's good of you to do that, actually. It's really fabulous.
Well, we think it's about really educating people so that they can make the right choice.
Well, you don't want people at the other end of their lives feeling unhappy and depressed about their changes.
That's right.
It's hard enough getting old anyway, Nicky. Let alone
it is.
Let alone being rubbed in.
That's right. Yeah, and I think so. We talk about the option to stay at home. But the other options, of course, are whether people choose to go to a retirement village or whether they want to know about residential aged care. So there are lots of options available to people.
I reckon it sounds good having someone look after us.
Yes, so do I.
I'll get you there one day. Okay, we welcome your calls on 9484 1927. Jody, good afternoon to you.
Hi. I'm Jody from Hillary's. I've just got a quick question. I'm ringing for my stepdad, who's 85 and looking at going into aged care. I'm just wondering, how is the aged care industry regulated?
Yeah.
I mean, you see so many bad stories at the moment about residential care. How are you meant to know a good provider from a bad one?
Good point. That's a great question, Jody. Just a sec. Excuse me. Look, I think, in terms of how is the aged care industry regulated, look, there is a lot of legislation around aged care. So if I was you, Jody, the sorts of things I would be looking for is first of all, I'd take a tour. I'd go and have a look at the facility. And I think you can get a lot from just going, having a bit of a wander, having a look around, and most, places will have times when you can actually go and do that. So go and take a tour. Then I would say to you, these are some questions I would suggest you ask them. When was the last time they had a quality audit? Can I have a look at your annual report? What sort of spot checks do you do on your staff? Are your staff police cleared?
Do they get offended?
No, because we are a highly regulated industry.
Good,
and
yeah.
we expect people to ask us because all good service providers will have all that in place.
Happily do it too, yeah.
I always like to find out if they've won any awards or they've got any recommendations. Jody, if you were going to get a tradesperson, you'd find out, who recommended them. So I would, if you have got any contacts, you could ask people about whether they know anything about that particular provider.
Yeah, that's good. Get armed with a whole lot of questions.
Armed with a whole lot of questions.
In the front up.
Does that help you, Jody?
Oh, that's very helpful. No, thank you for answering those questions.
Yeah, well, good luck on that, Jody. Good luck.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. And good afternoon to, who we got? Leda, I think it is. Hello, Leda.
Hello, that's me.
Yes, Leda.
Hi, Leda.
Hi, I'm just calling on behalf of my mum. We're looking at possibly for her to move into a retirement village, but it's all a bit confusing. She has developed a good relationship with her gardener and enjoys the services that his company does for her own home. Is she able to keep using him if she moves into a retirement village, or?
Yeah, look,
Okay.
that's a good question, Leda. Look, it really depends on the rules of the particular village in terms of whether she can keep her gardener. I would say to you that the private part of her area, yes, she would be able to use her own gardener, but I would say in the public area, no, she wouldn't. But if she's got other providers, like people who might do her cleaning or things like that, because that's in her home, she would be able to retain those people. But with the garden, I think it really depends on the rules of the village.
Check with it first, yeah.
Yeah, check first, Leda.
You always get a favourite gardener.
Great, thanks so much.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Thanks, Leda. And Nita, good afternoon.
That's it. Yes, thank you. Look, I just need to know, how does the home ownership work in a retirement village? Is it one of those ones where you sign away the house, or does it go to your family when you pass?
Yeah, great question, Nita. And look, this is a really interesting one because different villages use different types of tenures. So, have you got a pen? I'll just give you a few quick dot points.
Yeah.
If it's a retirement village, some retirement villages do have strata title, which means that you could purchase in, but most are what they call leasehold. So what that means is that you're actually just purchasing a guarantee to occupy the actual apartment while you're there. So you don't actually own the apartment. There's not an asset that would then go back to the family.
So it's like a rental.
It's really a leasehold. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Yes.
Is there an ingoing cost, an outgoing cost?
Yes, look, there can be specific fees when you go into a retirement village, and each retirement village will have their own arrangements. So I would say to you, it's really, really important that you actually go and talk to the sales manager of that retirement village and find out exactly what their specifications are, whether it's leasehold, whether it's a licence to occupy, or whether it's a company share arrangement or it's a strata
There's a lot
title.
of options there.
There's a lot of options.
So you really
but generally,
need some financial advice, I reckon.
generally retirement villages, it's leasehold, which means you don't actually own the unit.
So you give money up front, you lease it as long as you like.
Yeah, you're guaranteed the
and
place.
when you leave,
you don't have that anymore.
No.
That goes. It gets.
the money you put in.
Yeah, the sale goes back to the village.
Okay, the money you gave to go in stays with them.
Stays with them.
Okay, and you have a rental each month? You pay
Well,
a
no, you're purchasing the option to live in there for a period of time.
But do you pay another fee as well once
You
go in?
could well pay monthly management fees for upkeep of the gardens, whether they've got a pool area.
Okay.
So Nita, I would really suggest you look into all of that.
A lot of questions there, Nita.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, God, what research is going to come out of this?
Yeah. Well, look,
thank you so much.
Okay.
No worries.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'd get a financial advisor to look at all the paperwork, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is, first of all, document the things that are important to you.
What you need.
What's important to you, and then go and have a look at your options.
Good idea. Margaret, hello there.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Hi, Margaret.
That's good. Look, I've got a mum who is 101, living at home. She's legally blind, and we've got as much as we can possibly organise for the house. But she's a very social lady. She goes to Mass every day. She plays cards on a Wednesday, and she has a lovely social input, but she's still wanting more. Now, I'm just wanting to know, have you anything that she could do? You were saying that you get people to actually come in.
Yes, so Margaret, there's what's called the Community Visitors Scheme.
All right,
Now, you can give us a call, and we can arrange for our manager of that area, Vicky, to talk to you about that. And what that would be is we would organise a volunteer to come and spend some time with your mum.
Oh, that sounds
And they
nice.
might go out together, or they might read, or whatever. It really depends on your mother's interest. So that's one thing I would say to you to consider, is Community Visitors Scheme. The second thing I would say to you is we do have a social centre where we pick people up for the day. We bring them in centre. Sometimes they do activities in the centre. Other times, depending on the day, they actually go out. And I would say to you again, give us a call or email me, and we'll send you the calendar of events, because every day they're doing something, and that might be of interest to your mum.
Sounds good. She's just blind, that's all. So she's sort of restricted a little bit.
Yeah, look,
but her mind is very alert.
Yeah, and look, we do have a couple of customers who are in a similar situation to your mum. So we really try and make sure that we do things that that do accommodate people's different abilities and disabilities.
Yeah, good idea.
Sounds fantastic. So the Community Visitor Scheme, I have to ring.
Community Visitors Scheme or our social centre.
You ring Southcare.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Margaret.
You very much.
Good
Thanks,
luck.
Margaret.
A lot of responsibilities for the adult children of people.
There are a lot of responsibilities for people who are carers, or people who are, like you say, like you and I, that have got older parents that need support.
Very true. And just finally, residential aged care.
Yeah, look, residential aged care, look, it is an important part of the aged care offer, and I don't think we can, I mean, I know none of us want to go there, but if your family, loved one or whatever, needs full-time care, that really is the best place for them.
Yeah.
And there are some terrific providers around who really do love what they do, and they do look after you. So I'd say to you, if you've got somebody who needs 24-hour care, residential aged care really is something that you should be looking at. People say, oh, it's very expensive, but the question is, what do you mean by that? You know, they do have... you know, obviously they charge a daily care fee, and they might charge a entrance fee or a bond. But if you've got somebody that can't live by themselves and look after themselves, that's the option for them.
If you've got a resistance from a parent,
yes,
how would you sort of tackle it, do you think? Would you say, look, how about you come with us and have a look at this facility, see if you like it?
That's exactly what I do. And I'd play to the benefits, and I'd play to what are the things that are important to my mum or my dad, and I'd find out what residential aged care facilities offer those sorts of things.
Yeah,
you know, like
sense.
My dad loves art, so if he knew that there was ongoing art classes there, and my dad loves food too, and you know, I know we hear some negative things about residential aged care in terms of food, but you know, a friend of mine is in residential aged care, and she comments on how good the food is.
Excellent.
So I think it's going in and finding out what their offer is in relation to your parents, what's important to them,
and ask similar questions that you suggested earlier.
Yeah,
for the other areas of accommodation.
Yes, absolutely.
Ask all those questions, and it'd be nice to go there. Do you have to make appointments? Because to go there when you're not expected would be probably a good thing.
I think, you know, none of us want to think we're going to get old.
No.
But I think, you know, if you're just driving around, go and have a look.
Yeah.
Just go and have a look.
Prepare yourself.
Be amazed at what now is on offer. And, you know, the media sometimes can go to the dark side of aged care. But
I have been known to.
Yeah, there are some exceptional places around.
Of course they are, absolutely. Nikki, thank you as always. Great calls and great answers for everybody.
Pleasure.
And they can always contact you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Nicky Howe from Southcare.
Thank you.
Specs to